Our modern way of life has taken away many of the opportunities for physical exercise and exertion that were built into an earlier era. Chopping wood and beating carpets are a thing of the past. Even mowing the lawn has gone from being an aerobic isometric workout to something that requires little more effort than watching television. Our opportunities for exercise have not only dwindled, but what we have substituted is often the cause of stress. Therefore, we must create these opportunities. Regular aerobic exercise is one of the body's best defenses against the buildup of stress. Besides burning calories, lowering cholesterol, and building muscles, aerobic exercise negates tension by sending a surge of oxygenated blood to tense, oxygen-deprived muscles. And to top it off, the body releases endorphins, which are in effect the hormonal opposite of the fight or flight response. Endorphins have been called the body's own natural high and are a set of chemicals that leave you feeling relaxed and at ease for hours after physical exertion. To be considered aerobic, an exercise should raise your heart rate. Swimming, jogging, jumping rope, a vigorous game of tennis, bicycling, or even a brisk walk are all forms of aerobic exercise. Most experts agree that 20 minutes of sustained aerobic exercise 3 times a week is all that's needed to maintain proper fitness. During the exercise period, you'll want to keep your heart at a rate which is appropriate for your age group. This can be determined by subtracting your age, this man is 30, from 220, and multiplying the result by 0.75. So this man needs to maintain a heart rate of approximately 140 beats per minute for 20 minutes, 3 times per week, to stay fit. To determine your heart rate while you're exercising, wear a watch with a sweep second hand and turn it so you can see it. You can feel your pulse here at the wrist. Clock off 6 seconds while you count the pulse. Add a 0 to the result, and that's your heart rate for a full minute. So for example, if I counted off 14 beats during 6 seconds, my heart rate would be 140. It's important to remember to work up to the level of fitness appropriate for your age gradually. And of course, consult your physician before beginning any program of physical exercise. One of the most effective ways of reducing stress that I know is learning to live life in the present. No other single cure gets at the root of so much stress. We worry about the future, regret the past, and fail to enjoy the moment. Here's a little now appreciation test. The next time you're in the shower, notice whether you think about your problems or how good the hot water feels on your back. If you're thinking about your problems, you're not even aware of the moment, let alone enjoying it. Think about your problems when you can do something about them. At your desk, or with someone who can give you advice, or at any time when you can take steps to solve them, even if that only means writing them down or making a phone call. Plan time to sit down and think about them, but don't let your mind wander off randomly during your free time and rob you of the pleasure of that moment. Use your free time by finding things that really occupy your mind, like reading a good book, or a hobby that you really enjoy, or listening to music. Many writers have said that time is our most precious commodity. And when we worry about the future and regret the past, we're losing the time that we have right here and now. People who complain of depression, a common result of too much stress, invariably feel their lives are out of control. Studies have shown that stress-related illness occurs to people under the greatest pressures, but with the least influence or control. This may explain why more workers than bosses get ulcers. When life seems out of control, it's often the smallest things that are the biggest cause of stress. The traffic jam, a lost file, or an out-of-order sign can send us into a fit of rage. Seen in perspective, these problems are relatively minor. It is the underlying feeling of, I have no control over my environment, or why is this happening to me, that leads us to overreact in certain situations. Procrastination, disorganization, and always running late are classic signs that lack of control is a problem in a person's life. What people don't realize is that getting organized, leaving extra time for getting to work, tackling big projects, if only an hour at a time, not only solves that particular problem, but can significantly reduce stress on many other levels of a person's life. People in control have clearly established goals. They know exactly what they want and spend time each week planning how to attain their goals. They believe they can transform their environment and accept the times they can't as opportunities to learn and grow. They understand that taking control and planning allows them more time for enjoying life.
Okay, Susan, red is anchored.
First,
Then second,
Joan second,
Third,
fourth, fifth.
Events and situations are not stressful. It's our own perceptions and reactions that cause us to experience stress. A situation that is perceived by one person as exhilarating and challenging may be seen by another as incredibly stressful.
No need to be afraid, is there? Is there? Come on. You gotta break through this. There's not any need to be this scared. Go. Put your feet wide apart and move down this thing. I'm gonna say a number and you move on it. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Okay. Look at. Come on. Okay, now come off to the right.
Our reactions themselves are learned behaviors, and therefore we can learn to control them.
No, you're doing great. Keep going. Just keep doing just what you're doing.
While common annoyances are seldom exhilarating, you can learn to replace your tension with tranquility. Jot down a list of what things make you tense. Notice which situations you can control and which ones you can avoid. When unavoidable situations arise, remind yourself you can choose to take control of your reactions rather than letting your reactions control you. Remember to use the techniques you've learned in this program, such as conscious breathing and point-by-point relaxation, to reduce your stress. And allocate at least 20 minutes every day for some form of relaxation exercise, meditation, enjoyable hobby, or aerobic exercise. Overcoming stress can sometimes seem about as difficult as scaling a cliff. But with determination and perseverance, you can master most any stressful situation. Albert Schweitzer once remarked that each person carries his own doctor inside of himself. The techniques presented in this program can amplify the quiet voice of that inner doctor. This voice tells us not only when we are feeling thirsty or hungry or tired, but I believe can also tell us when we are feeling the effects of stress. If we take the time to listen, we can prevent much of the disease, anxiety, and discomfort we suffer from today. Making a commitment to managing stress is a gift you can give to yourself. It's your commitment to living life to the fullest.